Welcome to Reddit Reader. What sounds like science fiction, but actually exists or will exist very soon. Prosthetics that can react and respond to nerve input and muscle movement. I actually just got approved for the budget, using that word extremely loosely, version of this. A prosthetic knee that records how your remaining muscles move, and if you have one, how the other leg moves and copies it. I've got the initial fitting for it coming up this Tuesday, and I'm so excited. You can apparently also program it to do all kinds of weird stuff too, but my prosthesis won't tell me how just yet because I have a history of tinkering with things. I mean, the internet is pretty wild when you think about explaining it to someone from 100 years ago. It's insane. Neural maps of your brain showing trillions of connections between neurons. Sounds lame, but will be huge when we can map all the neurons in someone's brain. This one excites me. Yeah, there are huge implications in medicine, AI, and many more. Scientists were able to make a clone of an animal that went extinct a while ago. It only survived 10 minutes, but still, being able to revive something that went extinct. And that is how Jurassic Park happens, folks. So certain animals that lived in the past could not survive today, as the oxygen content of the air is vastly different. In addition, whenever we clone, we use the existing animal's womb, so it's not exactly an ideal setup. Really what we need is to create an artificial womb, and then cloning is super easy. Facial and voice deepfakes. AI has accelerated the technology to the point that it's getting hard to identify the fakes. There have already been cases where thieves use deep voice fakes to steal money from companies by impersonating an employee after gathering voice clips from public addresses. Propaganda is going to start using this technology more often in the near future. Quantum computers. They already exist and have gotten a lot of funding lately to further develop the technology. Printing new organs instead of needing donors. I'm in evaluation for a heart bilateral lung transplant. I was born with 5 congenital heart defects and 2 congenital lung defects. Had my first of many open heart surgeries when I was about 10 hours old. I also have 1 working lung, COPD, bronchiolitis obliterans, pulmonary hypertension, pulmonary fibrosis, asthma, heart failure, cardiomyopathy. We all knew transplant was coming, but knowing it and being in the midst of it are 2 different things. When it was official I was a transplant patient, I had a few panic attacks. Kept thinking about how I'm connected to a person that I don't know. They have a family, favorite food, someone loves their laugh. They have life experiences they treasure, and once listed, I'm essentially waiting for them to die. It's something I'm learning to cope with. But something I focus on when my mind wanders is that once it happens, I'll finally know what breathing should feel like. I've never known what that feels like since I was born, with a messed pulmonary system and my left lung never worked over 15%. Now, I can barely walk 50 steps without having to stop and rest. No thanks to Medicaid saying I don't qualify for home oxygen or the portable oxygen concentrator from Inogen, even though we have proof my breathing sucks and my oxygen levels drop a good 20 to 30 times an hour. So waiting to be put on the waiting list is already awful. So when or if they can get to a point in printing new organs with, I'm assuming, would be the recipient DNA, antibodies, etc., and hopes for no rejection to happen, the waiting would be much faster. I have a friend who also has congenital heart defects, and she's been on the list for almost 2 years now, and has been living in the hospital for about 8 months and has an LVAD. It's placed in the heart to help it pump. Without it, she'd be dead, and sadly, she's a hard person to match. It's such a complicated process. Printing new organs would help the situation so much. Facial recognition used by the government police forces. Moon bases and space mining. Nanobots, tiny specialized robots that will swim through your body and deliver medicines to the required organ directly. Also, personalized medicine according to your genetic makeup. The concept in the movie Her will without a doubt become very real soon. I have no doubt that dating bots or having a bot friend will become a thing. Maybe even bot therapists when or if the tech becomes developed enough. A licensed therapist bot. Mainstream universal translators. Some already exist for certain languages. It's really just voice to text, a translation to voice. Once it is downsized and built into your AirPods, it's game on. Don't forget to like this video if you liked it, dislike if you disliked it, and subscribe so you don't miss our next upload.